So I forced you to watch a little bit of Kaiju number 8.
Oh man, I was looking for I meant to watch the other episode last night. I was sitting in front of my anime box and I thought about it. I'd like that show.
I think it's good. I think it's finding itself a little more, and it's moving. I feel like anime moves pretty fast these days. Like getting you to the fucking point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching this other one called Tonari no Yokai-san, which is like moves way too fast. Like they just had like a whole season arc in 3 episodes.
Wow.
And I'm like, yeah, but like I like how just kind of like on purpose everything is in Kaiju number 8. You know, there's some gross out humor. Like there's like one poop joke per episode, which I kind of find charming, honestly.
Well, especially because they seem to follow up the poop jokes with a further joke that they give you the poop joke and then they give you the erudite adult joke for afterwards. I
think if I was younger, I'd be really annoyed at Kaiju number 8 for like slow rolling like the dude's power so much. Like his secret power. Spoilers for Kaiju 8 if anyone's watching it, but I really like it. I think there's I like all the characters. I think everybody's fun. I like the monster designs. I like the world. Like,
yeah, that first kaiju is adorable, and I can understand why Chad was sad that it died. But it is a kaiju,
dude. That thing's fucking up property values. I don't know, and it's probably delicious.
I can't support something that fucks up property values.
I know. I love property values. The bearded dragon one was pretty cute.
The next one is a true gross horror, and I don't care that it died.
I think the more human-y ones, I'm more happy they're killing.
It seems like the real baddies of the show are going to be the more humanoid ones too.
Yeah,
I only watched 4 episodes. There are 6 now.
Yeah,
where there's some severe developments.
It goes about where you expect. Episode 5 is really fun because it's kind of a training montage, but I just really like the protagonist a lot. He's Kafka is just like a little cinnamon roll. I love his ass.
Yeah.
It's great.
Funny to call him Kafka and he turns into a giant bug. I guess he's not a bug, but you know.
He's a bug. He pees out his nipples.
He metamorphoses.
They don't go back to the nipple peeing for some reason.
The nipple peeing was a surprise. That was I think that happens in episode 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we
we
got through episode 1. He turns, I mean, spoiler, he becomes a kaiju.
The first episode is called The Man Who Became a Kaiju.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, right, like, what do you expect, guys?
Yeah.
And then episode 2, he pees out of his nipples like right away in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, just to show how fucked up his new internal biology is.
It is a pee joke, but you're right. It is like also like being like, ain't this weird? And like it's weird. They go weird. So
it's important for setting the stage. It tells you something about the world.
It's a stage setting piss joke. Okay.
Yeah, ice cold piss straight from the nips.
Who doesn't love a cold cut piss on a hot summer day?
I remember we were talking about it when we were watching it, and you're like, "Yeah, we're not. Continue isn't above a piss joke."
No, of course not. I fought for that piss joke. That piss joke was almost written out of the show in the show we made. I fought hard for that piss joke. And then a couple years later, I was like, probably didn't need to fight that hard for the piss joke.
I mean,
we're talking about my show, Smart Guys.
Yeah, Smart Guys has a phrase that lives in my head rent free, which isn't. There's several piss-related phrases in that one episode.
Yeah, it's a piss-centric episode.
Yeah, I drank too much lemonade, now I gotta make wiener water.
That one was, we were filming the show, and that line was in, I think, the second full weekend. So we did it over a series of 6 weekends, I think we shot it over. And the second full weekend was that episode. And our new DP, we had to change DPs on the second weekend. Gino, who has been a DP on pretty much everything we've shot since then.
DP stands for
Director of Photography.
Got it. Thank you.
He's pointing the camera at everything. He's in the middle of everything. He's basically, it's like director, assistant director, director of photography in terms of like set hierarchy. So Gino's there for everything, in the middle of everything. And we got to that line and he lost it and would not stop saying it. And then so basically whenever anyone had to pee on set, it was gotta go make wiener water. And
perfect delivery by Josh.
Yeah, incredible.
I think that made the trailer as well.
Yeah, I think so. I think it did. We showed that trailer at my former brother-in-law's school. He brought us in to talk to his students about being a YouTube person and filmmaker, and we showed them the trailer. And you're right. That line was there, and
and you had to apologize for saying wiener to children.
Nah, the 17-year-olds cheered, and my former brother-in-law cheered, and everything was great.
The kids are all right.
The kids are all right, man. We're raising them right, us millennials. That's a great piss line, and I'm sure this one probably lives with you too. Piss guy, you driving?
Yep. Incredible acting by Luke in that as well,
dude. You know how many takes it took to get him to catch that key in that shot?
It's a clean catch, the one you got.
We got a real good catch. There was one where the keys went into the cup that he was holding of piss. Which was also
is that on the DVD? Is there like a key catch blooper reel?
There has to be. There has to be a blooper reel on there somewhere. I don't know. I don't know if it made it to the DVD. I gotta check.
See if you can find the hard drive.
We definitely have all the files. They are saved. We did not lose anything. But no piss take has been lost.
So 6 weekends of filming.
It's a lot.
That's pretty like in a row.
Yeah, in a row, and while working a regular 9-to-5 job on the other days.
Right.
So it was like, work, Friday night, get together and rehearse, and then Saturday, Sunday, shoot for 14 hours a day.
So did you do like it by location or something like that? Or?
Yeah, basically what we did was we would do, I think the first weekend we went to New York, and we shot at YouTube Space, New York.
Nice.
Early use of the YouTube space that they had built. And we had one day there. Easy weekend. Easy breezy weekend. First weekend.
Good way to start.
Good way to start. Second weekend, I think we shot most of that stuff around Nick's house, his parents' house.
Okay.
So we were out in the burbs, and that was all burb stuff. And then we were doing like, we have an arcade in there where I rollerblade in the show. And that arcade is a pretty infamous, I wouldn't say infamous, I would say famous, but also slightly infamous arcade in the Horsham area of Pennsylvania, where it's called TNT Amusements. You should check out, if you're listening to this and you're interested, check out the TNT Amusements. I don't know if I think they have been making stuff since the 90s, but the guy was famous for having an infomercial that played on local access television channels for his TNT Amusements, which I went to multiple times as a kid. You could rent it for birthday parties. There's just rooms upon rooms of arcade machines. And he was infamous for his biggest gag was he would talk about how they would repair all of the machines themselves. And then he would close the machine on a fake balloon hand. He did it about 5 or 6 times per infomercial. And I'm pretty sure he's still rocking and rolling. I know for a fact that he started doing vlogs about another diner that he loves in the area called Is it Worm Daddy's? No, Worm Daddy's was another place. But you got to check the channel out. It's a gold mine of great stuff.
Dude, that rules.
Yeah, so that was one weekend. Yeah, we were all over the place.
Arcade's such a good filming location too, because you can film in off hours and it will never look like it because it's like dark on the inside.
Exactly. You just like it's all closed in, all boarded up, not boarded up, but closed off windows so that the amusement lights are bright. And it was great because we just rented it as if we were renting it for a party for the day. And
smart.
We even had a pizza party in the pizza room where the kids had their pizza parties. It was basically a big pizza party that we shot footage at.
When we make our Pete and Pete series, we should rent out that arcade.
Oh, we're definitely using it. I think it's still rocking. Let me make sure.
Yeah. The YouTube space in New York is still a thing, it seems like.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Hold on, I gotta send you a picture of the guy because he came up when I Googled his thing.
Please.
This will give you just a flavor of what this guy is like. We usually do the pictures for these episodes as the cover of the book, but I'm tempted to tell Chad to do it as this guy.
Yeah, I hope Chad puts it as this guy because this is a powerful energy.
He's
with the grandma lamp in the background.
A real scamp, this guy. Yeah, he's still rocking. He's still making videos. He made a video 4 days ago So you can go to the TNT Amusements channel, and it has 46,000 subscribers. That's how good this stuff. This is a local arcade, guys. It has 46,000 subscribers. This guy rocks. I don't remember what his name is, but if you're that guy, hello.
Oh, the New York YouTube space is no longer open. Unfortunately, it survived COVID only to be shut down later.
Well, it was fun.
Got to go to Sao Paulo, Mumbai, or Dubai if you want to go to a physical YouTube space.
Wow, cool.
I mean, be a fun trip.
It was fine. It was a tiny little space. It had like one green screen in it, and then a bunch of small offices that were hot, from what I remember.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it doesn't take that much to put one together.
A YouTube space?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could probably make our own YouTube space, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's just Nick's living room.
Yeah, we have our own. What am I talking about? We have our own.
That's probably what killed it, is people like, oh, we can just do it at home.
Yeah. Why would I go to New York? I have YouTube at home. I found out the name of the TNT owner, just so in case you were interested. His name is Todd Tuckey.
God, he looks like a Todd Tuckey.
He really does. Check out Todd Tuckey, y'all. Todd Tuckey will tuck you into bed with mirth and laughter.
Do you know his middle initial at all? Is it Todd N. Tuckey?
Todd Ticklebones Tuckey.
Whoa, TTT?
Todd TTT.
Is that another Joshism?
That's a drummerism. Ta titi ta titi ta. That's how you learn how to do your drum fills. But me and Josh do that a lot. We do the ta titi ta.
I can just kind of hear him saying it.
Yeah, I know. He loves to say those words.
We should get him back on the show if we're going to reference him this much.
Yeah. Let's see if he's done drinking if he's done with us making wiener water. That's always holding him up.
Yeah. He spends a lot of his life pissing.
Yeah.
As do we all. Welcome to Goosebuds.
Welcome to Goosebuds. I'm Paul.
I'm Kevin. This is your number one Goosebumps fan podcast.
And usually our friend Chad is here, but Chad had a brief flare-up of Kaiju-itis. He became a kaiju. He didn't destroy anything. He was so thoughtful. I mean, what did you expect from Chad, right?
Yeah. It was like the quickest Godzilla movie ever. He emerged from the ocean, and then he went right back in, and the credits started.
He looked around awkwardly and was like, I need a safe place to sit down. And he sat down into the ocean, and the waves just slowly lapped him back into the water. And he fell asleep and had a nice nap. So Chad had a good time, but we need to de-kaiju him.
Yeah, he'll return when Goosebuds City needs him the most.
Mm-hmm.
This episode, we continued our delve into Goosebumps Horrorland and read Who's Your Mummy?
Who's Your Mummy? Book 6, I believe, in the series. It's astounding to find out that we've only made it 6 books into the 20-book series.
It kind of hurt a little bit when you said book 6. I was like, really? It feels like we should be in the double digits by now.
We've really been stretching out this process, but we're trying like hell to get through here. We need to get through it, some of this.
Paul, I have some really unfortunate news, actually.
Oh, no, what's up?
I really liked this one.
Oh boy, I kind of did too.
Oh man, yeah, I'm a little shocked, and I don't want to immediately couch my enthusiasm and my like of this book in anything, but I'm not sure this is RL, but I'm pretty sure he was involved. It's just I'm not sure.
There's some odd writing in this one. There's some really odd writing in this one.
I made some note of some odd writing in this one too, so it'll be good. I think we can compare some stuff.
I got 3 quotes within, I think, the first chapter that I pulled out because I was like, that's just weird. What did you write? And a word kept coming up. A word kept flashing up throughout this book. A lot of things were flashing in this book. And I thought for sure that the flashing was a tell, was some sort of thing that he was trying, he was trying to flash us a message from inside the book.
Yeah.
No, the flashing was not the secret. There were many other secrets hidden in this book, but not the flashing.
I noticed, RL loves the adverb hard, to fall hard on your knees or whatever. Characters are running hard, bats are flapping hard.
Kids are dying hard.
Yeah. When I was looking over this manuscript, I think he was just looking at other adverbs and being like, that could be hard.
That could be the new hard.
Hey, I could modify this verb.
Hey, it's 2009. Time for a new hard. This 2009, and I don't know that did 2009 cell phones still have batteries, removable batteries? I think they did, but what has Apple done to us?
Yeah, I feel like the iPhone came out towards the end of my high school experience.
Yeah. So yeah, it was 2010-ish that I remember seeing them in the wild, because it was when I started working at Game Revision. It was around 09, 10, 11.
We were still giving kids flip phones, though, so I can see the battery being an element of this.
Those things still had the battery on them. All right, so Apple iPhone 1, right? Let's see. You ready? You want to guess what year? You want to take a swift guess?
I want to say 2007.
2007. Good guess. I wouldn't have gone that early. 2008, though. July. Wait, no, that's when it was discontinued. Oh, I'm so sorry. 2007 is correct, Kevin.
Whoa!
June, in fact, smack dab in the middle.
I think I only remember because I was a junior in high school, and all of my friends. I was a lower middle class kid in a very rich town, and I was like the only person who didn't have an iPhone.
Damn, I did not get an iPhone I did not want an iPhone for a while. I was like, I don't need the internet to follow me everywhere.
I got hand-me-down iPods from my dad for a while. I didn't even have I had like a Discman for most of high school.
Yeah, man, I was still trying to beat Snake on my Nokia.
Just to brush past our normal niceties.
Oh boy,
I feel like the cover art has been pretty bad for the Horrorland series. None of it's Tim Jacobus.
Right. It's Brandon Dorman is the Horrorland. Horrorland, and it looks like Slappy World, up to Slappy World artist.
I guess it hasn't been bad, but I just haven't really dug any of the composition.
I mean, it's hard. It's really hard to compete with Jacobus, whose work is 90s iconic, if not timeless iconic.
I guess it just feels digital, Yeah. Jacobus actually paints a lot of his stuff, I feel.
Yeah, this one looks digital. I do like this one. I don't think this one's bad. I think the mummy design is cool.
I like the mummy design. I think this cover is actually pretty strong.
Yeah.
So I'll give Brandon a thumbs up.
Like many of the covers, it does not contain any thread of attachment to the story of the book.
No.
But it's creepy to see a mummy ringing a doorbell.
It really must be like a gunshot from when RL commits to a title. Someone starts someone starts making the cover art, and RL will be like, if I can work it in, I'll work it in.
The relay has begun as soon as he comes up with the title.
I feel like the floodgates, for my understanding of that, opened when there was just a random raccoon in a trash can.
Yeah. What was that one for?
I forget. I feel like it's one of the ones I own, though, so it might be on my shelf somewhere.
It's definitely one of the ones you read.
Yeah, editor Kevin can put that in.
Please, editor Kevin, we need you.
Sprite Camp. We have a small cast this time. Abby is our protagonist.
Our Pav, if you will.
Our Pav. She has traits, I'm sure.
I had to make note at the indoor water gun fight that happens right at the start of it that she has a quote unquote a famous, and that's the unquote there, long distance water spit. Quote, I did one of my famous long distance water spits and showered the back of his neck. And I said, cool character trait. That's what I wrote down. Please let this come back. And baby, maybe it does.
Well, maybe it does. This isn't our first one with water spitting either. I believe Robbie Schwartz had a bunch of water spitting in one of its many fake intros or whatever.
RL saw signs and was like, I want water-centric heroes, water-centric plots, and water weak villains in everything.
I love anything that has the Zombies Ate My Neighbors style horror where the holy water super soaker is a thing.
Oh my god, I love a holy water super soaker. That was the first thought that popped to my mind too, Kevin, was Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
And it's weird how I had faith that would come up again, because in a lot of these it feels like everything is so random, right?
Yeah.
It's just you're locked into the stream of conscious, and RL doesn't look forward and he doesn't look back. He's just present in the writing.
I did not believe that it would come back. I did not have the faith, but you know what? Dude, Where's My Mummy delivered.
We even have a little bro character who I think walks a decent line.
Not the worst. Not the worst kid.
Not the best. I like that he's flawed. I like that he's a bit of a scaredy cat.
Yep.
and he is annoying.
Yep.
But he also like kind of sucks in a charming way. Like he never wins water battles.
He never wins water battles, even though I had to write this down too. Abby cheats at the fight, and then there's two quotes I want to discuss. Abby cheats at the fight, and Granny V, the grandmother and I guess parental guardian of Abby.
Yeah,
and
we
Pete.
don't know what happened to their parents.
We don't know what happened to their parents. Fun little bit of trivia on the wiki page. They say that the book never mentions what happens to them. And one of the trivias, this is just complete conjecture. And you know me, I fucking love conjecture. But this is absolute conjecture. It is unknown how Abby's parents died, but the most likely possibility was that they both died in an accident of some sort together. Why do you imply? Why is that likely or possible? There's no indication of any sort how they died. If they died at the same time, what?
I'd love for them to cite their source on that. Yeah. Is it like if both your parents are dead, are they likely to have died in the same event?
I need citations from the source that you can give me to explain why you think that is the most likely possibility. And you know what? We might have a line to that because I think I commented recently on a trivia note on the Wikipedia page, and one of our Discord members from our Patreon said that they were the ones who were responsible for it. So I'm sorry, I'm not blanking on the name right now of the user, but if that was you, please speak up and hold your hand up, and please, I want an MLA citation.
I wrote down decent action. Like this was actually a decent little action scene. Like a little, like, you know, when Peter gets hit by the squirt gun, his squirt gun goes off in the air, and we see how like kind Granny V is to be like, okay guys, we did say no water fights in the house, but she's fun and silly. We do like Granny V.
She loves them. I don't know if Granny V is just being cheeky here, because she does cheat by she attacks from behind Abby with with her famous long distance water spit, and takes out Peter. And Granny V comes in and says, "Cheaters never quit, and a quitter never cheats," which is not the quote. And also doesn't make sense, which I was like, I struggle to understand. It's the beginning of the Lord of the Rings again. It's I like half of you as well as I should, you know, it's that classic Bilbo quote that nobody understands. It's that all over again.
Yeah, just bamboozles everyone into being like, what the fuck?
And then you invisible away.
Yeah, and Granny V does kind of Bilbo out of the situation a little bit.
She Bilbos the hell out of this book.
She goes, I'm really sick. I need a vacation from you kids for a little bit.
Go live with your uncle you've never met. Goodbye.
Yeah, and that we have no pictures of.
Really astounding turn of events for these kids. I did want to pull up one more quote from that first, 3 pages, like I said. Abby says, they're talking about her cheating and constantly winning in their water gun battles, which Granny V does not sanction, but she allows. She says, "I'm nearly a foot taller than he is, which gives me a real advantage in our water blaster battles. Last time I checked, being the larger opponent and thus target does not make you a better water gun battler or gun battler in general. Being smaller, I think, is an advantage."
Well, Paul, you forget how the water trajectory is affected by gravity. So if you can get a high shot,
she's got a better arc.
You can just stand back and use artillery.
Oh crap! You're right. Okay, all right.
I think it's possible, though. You are right in that it's harder for her to take cover.
She's like, even sideways, she's a larger target than he is.
Yeah, if she's defending, then she wins. But if she's on the attack, she might be in trouble.
Yes. Or if she can pin him down, she has a distinct advantage.
Yeah, just with a barrage from a hose or something.
Yeah, if she can flank him into a defensive position, she could win.
If this was all about water gun warfare, I wouldn't be sad as a child or as an adult.
I could take a whole book of water gun warfare, and you know, in a sense, Kevin, it kind of is.
It is. So Pete and Abby are thrust onto a train from Boston to Vermont, which I don't think exists.
I was thinking about that too, Kevin. First off, Boston alert.
Yeah, Boston alert. They're in Boston. Yeah, we got...
Editor Kevin, play the Boston alert. alert ended. We have a Boston alert. Have we been to Boston yet in the book series, Kevin?
I'm sure it's been mentioned, but I think we've definitely been to Vermont. I think the last time we were in Vermont was Jekyll and Hyde.
Okay. Wow. So pretty recent.
Yeah, Vermont, I think, is to R.L. Stine as Maine is to Stephen King.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think that train exists either, Kevin. And the fact that, so they go to a place called Cranford, doesn't exist.
Nope.
Tried to find it.
But I'll believe Cranford, Vermont exists because it sounds like a milquetoast, middle of the road, cranberry town or something.
It sounds good. Yeah, it absolutely sounds good, and I'm buying it. But Cranford doesn't exist, but it's a tiny town. It's a TT. And I was surprised as well that a train would go there, let alone it has its own train station.
We don't really see any inhabitants apart from Crazy Annie.
Yeah.
Who is a woman with a bluebird tattoo on her fucking throat.
Neck tattoo.
Neck tat in Vermont right off the bat.
Edgy throat tattoo. This is like this is 2009. This is early, like neck tattoo. Like now I see neck tattoos, right? 2024. We're getting neck tattoos. They're starting to creep up and creep out.
Yeah.
But 2009 in puritanical America?
Yeah, right stone's throw away from puritanical Massachusetts, we get a neck tattoo.
Right in the red scarlet state?
Yeah, I was thrown for a loop by this too. And I think this is a sign that like this is someone playing to RL's tastes as a ghostwriter, but not quite.
Ooh, okay. Unpack that, please.
Okay, so I feel like this is realizing that RL just describes people based on what they're wearing.
Okay, yeah.
And goes like one step further and is like, and they have a neck tattoo. And it's like, whoa.
I could see it. It's coming to life on the page.
Yeah, kind of.
It actually does work very well. I saw Crazy Annie. You're right, because it's a little too, it's almost too much of a choice for it to be RL.
Yeah, there's a lot of like, oh, we're pushing the boundaries a little bit too. It's like they didn't quite know what the rules were. Like we're like engaging with death a little bit.
Oh yeah,
we get a lot of positive feelings in this book, which is not RL. RL is very no hugging, no learning.
Yeah, there's some actual love between Abby and Peter, I would say, and definitely love for Granny V.
Yeah, and Granny V's cool as hell, and which causes us to worry about her. And because we have a place of safety and love, we are transitioning out of it, and that causes like unease and anxiety. So it's like, I don't know, RL, you might have to care about your work to write well. I don't think you can write off, writing from the heart so much.
Maybe things should be about things.
Maybe. I don't know. This is a good book though. So if RL, if you wrote this, then good job. But I really think that like there are some telltale signs that shows that this is someone who like kind of understands RL's tastes, but is has taken notes and whatever, but like and has been edited by RL or whatever. But the inclusion of any like positive adjectives at all tells me that this is not R.L. Stine. Yeah,
no, I agree with you on that. And things, I think R.L. has put kids into danger, but there's at least one distinct moment of actual danger. There's a couple, I think, throughout here, but there's one that we'll get to that I was really surprised by. That I don't know. I think whoever wrote this was pushing the boundaries of what the editors would allow them to slip by to a kid's book.
I also think this writer like really loved Dracula or something like this, because all this plays out more like a vampire story than a mummy story.
Yeah, this is a folk horror, but with mummies. A folk horror with a little foreign flavor added into it.
Yeah, the Egypt stuff is kind of weird. I don't think it goes like outright racist anywhere.
No,
other than like white people don't understand Egypt.
No, but it's certainly colonial feeling. Colonizing feeling. But it turns out it's not. Sort of.
Yeah, I mean, it is like. But then like when you make like the Egyptians the villain or whatever.
Yes. In the metatextual sense it is, yes. But in the plot sense it's not.
But maybe monarchy's the villain. We don't know. So the kids are accosted by a crazy woman with a throat tattoo. who says, don't go to the house on the hill, because that's where the fucking moaning sounds come from. I'm crazy, and she runs away and she drops her bread, which I assume she had to go out of town for, because why else is she at the train station with a loaf of bread?
Yeah, they didn't say one place was a bread store. They had a bunch of other spots, but not a bread store. And this is an interesting plot point that we'll have to loop back to later because, well, we simply will have to. Crazy Annie runs off, and then a 2-horse carriage comes trotting up.
This is straight out of Dracula.
This is straight Dracula shit. Uncle Jonathan's flashing eyes emerge from the back of the carriage, and he says, well, I'm sorry I'm late. I had to get the house ready, and I had to pull out the elaborate stops of getting my 2 horses that I keep alive just to get this carriage out occasionally. And then I put them back into the horse barn and leave them alone for another 10 years.
And I think positioning Uncle Jonathan as fun and sexy and charming and eccentric instead of just being gross right off the bat also says
different
not
writer
RL to me.
Yeah. And he's making jokes throughout this. And he has like kind of a different sense of humor. It's not just like, oh, I'm telling the bad jokes. It's funny, kids, because he's telling bad jokes. No, I think in this one, he's got a really dark, twisted sense of humor.
Yeah, and like the kids like need a little while to pick up on Uncle Jonathan's sense of humor, but they're like kind of getting into the swing of it as like, you know, the day goes on.
Right.
So like this idea of comfort, like this idea of we're moving from a place of comfort to a strange place, and this guy's strange, but we're getting comfortable with him only to obviously have it be violated later when the real horror starts happening. I think that like that speaks to a very interesting like child perspective. Like, I don't want to leave my home or whatever and stay with my weird relatives because like that makes me uncomfortable. I like being home.
That's a great point. This one has a definite perspective and an actual childlike view of the horrors, whereas normally it's like kind of a ironic detachment that I don't think most kids have. Maybe they do. I don't know, but I feel like there's like an ironic detachment to most of the Goosebumps books.
Yeah, again, like I don't want to punish RL if he really did write this. I think
I do. If he did, write more like this one.
Yeah, it just seems to go against his ethos, like what he's directly stated, and the rest of his work to have like to lure you in with positive like elements and elements of comfort or whatever, to like have warm moments. Like even on the ride over, they say there's an aroma of leather and wood.
Yeah.
In the carriage, and that is not an RL sentence by any means.
Right.
Like to describe a smell is RL, but it's either sour or bad.
Right. It would be the parents are weird and bad. Not that this is a comforting and kind of elegant experience that we are having.
Yeah, I don't think he would ever even think. He would only think to just ramp up the uncomfortableness. He would never think to create a comfortable atmosphere only to recontextualize it later as creepy, because he doesn't move through time. Like he's so focused on the present when he writes that he doesn't set anything up or pay anything off. And
this one is resplendent with that.
Yeah.
To the point that I made earlier about the ironic detachment, I feel like this doesn't have that. The kids are not anti the parents ever. They're not anti their uncle ever. They're a little maybe apprehensive when they show up and the town is very small. Peter has a little bit of it, right? He's like, oh, you think they got an electronics store here? You know, like he's making some comments about it. But Abby is pretty open-minded to this whole situation.
Yeah. And Peter even says, can I touch a mummy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or like, can I touch one or whatever? Like Peter's a little obsessed with mummies, which is, again, you get a little bit of sadistic glee because you're like, I know what series I'm reading. You're gonna not want to do that, bud.
Yes. Yeah. It's his flaws line up nicely, and Abby. What are Abby's flaws? I don't even know that. I mean, I guess that she's maybe a little.
She's afraid of bats.
She's afraid of bats, and she's a little nosy. Maybe.
Yeah, but she is like creative and resourceful or whatever. But I think
it's mostly the bats.
I think it's mostly fear. She seems to be kind of a more anxious character. But like
in her Horrorland portion, she certainly becomes a pure avatar of fear.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because she has fucking baggage after this. She's actually traumatized. This was actually one of the more fun Horrorland segments, too.
Agreed, because I think it actually carried the most from the book over.
Yeah.
And I think also kind of retroactively made all the other kids a little bit better and a little more tight. It almost felt like they were getting some feedback that maybe the other ones weren't so great. Yeah. And maybe they needed a little bit more, a couple more pieces of string tied out onto the board so people could follow what was going on, and they do that for us in this Horrorland.
Yeah, and it's still bad. It's still not a good idea.
No, I didn't like it, but it's better.
It is better, and I think this story actually fits really nicely into like the 2/3 of a book sort of mold, where it feels just kind of very tightly paced.
Yeah, this one gets us to the point so quickly, and that's why I think I liked it, and I'm sure that's why you liked it too. Things just keep happening in this book.
Yeah, there's like a ramp, there's like a turn. Like we never really get a turn, Like if we do, it happens way too early or way too late, and this happens like I feel at the right time. We meet Sanja, who's who I know is supposed to be Egyptian, but I read her as like an Irish granny.
Oh, I read her as a Russian babushka.
Yeah, like really is no accent there's an accent implied, but it's never outright stated. She
has a weird cadence, and maybe she has like her refrains are like on my blessing or something like that. Oh yeah, my blessings.
Faith be praised. And I'm like
that when you say those words, now I'm hearing Irish.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it was a bit of an Irish vibe.
Or maybe we just watched Waking Dead Divine recently.
Yeah.
But, a lot of like classic setup from here on. The never open that door.
Of course, classic.
I was like, well, can't wait to go through that one.
Uh-huh.
But then we're like back to like, here's your awesome ass room. Everything's like Egypt themed or whatever. And
a really weird sentence in this one. She goes in her awesome room and it has a canopy bed. And she says, I'd never slept in a canopy bed. I knew I'd feel like a princess in a movie.
R.L. would never say that.
No, right? It's a strange sentence. Not sure I'm a huge fan of it, but R.L. would not allow his child to feel that level of joy.
Yeah, why? And why would he develop such an empathy for young women? This
yeah, that's true too. Yeah,
I think there's some shenanigans going on here, ghostwriter wise. Peter sneak attacks her with his water gun in something that feels like it should be a chapter break, but I'm glad that that whoever wrote this, maybe RL, decided not to make it a chapter break.
Yeah,
it was just a goof. Because and suddenly I felt a cold sensation on my back, and I was like, haha, it's Peter.
Yep, we get that. We get a easily recognizable cat slander fake out to end chapter 6.
Yeah, which is weird. The cat slander struck me as a little weird because there was a cat in the in like the toll booth.
Just chilling, being nice,
just chilling, and like that was another like there's a cat and it wasn't menacing somebody. That doesn't feel very RL. But to have but later on we do get Cleopatra, the evil cat, who's a queen. I love Cleo.
Right. Yeah, I do love Cleo as well, and rip Cleo. Rip Cleo.
I gotta say, the way Cleo dies, I couldn't even be like too mad about it because it was so ridiculous.
Well, that's the fun thing about this book is things happen, and the things that happen are absolutely outlandish, and it goes to a crazy. If this is RL engaging in his love of camp. Because we know he loves campy stuff, but I feel like he has that ironic detachment again from that camp a lot of the time where he isn't trying too hard. He's trying to like be cool with kids. It feels like he's trying to be like, I'm not trying too hard, kids. You don't have to dislike me because I'm not one of you, but this one, it feels like he's like, or whoever is fully in on this is an absurd situation because we have the cat slander. Sonia comes in, rescues. It turns out it's Cleopatra, the cat who has been descended from a long line of Egyptian cats. And the reason Cleo's backstory, I agree. I would do the same exact thing for Cleo and for my cats if I were in the same situation as our main villain. We have a great breakfast scene, which is the only scene that I think that Peter is really acting like a classic little a classic Goosebumps little brother, where he's showing his food and flicking food at Abby, and he's just kind of being a little brat for breakfast. But Dr. Uncle Jonathan,
Dr. Uncle Jonathan, yes.
Actually, I think he does this before the breakfast scene. He tells them a story of his days in Egypt, because they get to the house and everything is Egypt themed, right?
Yep.
He's got all kinds of stuff. It's all Egypt all the time. And he's telling Dr. Uncle Jonathan is telling them a story about falling into a river where he gets attacked by eels and bitten. Yep. Incredibly detailed and horrifying imagery for a Goosebumps book.
Yeah, but it turns out to be a gag because he ends it with they chewed my legs off and I died. Which is really fucking funny.
And the kids kind of sit there like open mouth, like, what?
It's funny because it's a joke on the Goosebumps format, because a story told from first person, a horror story told from first person can't really end with the person telling it dying.
Totally, yeah.
So I thought that was fun and silly. There's also a call with Granny V earlier where they say, oh yeah, Uncle Jonathan's really into Egypt.
And she's like, what?
Granny V's like, really? All right.
When did that happen?
And like that throws up a wee woo.
We get a wee woo alert, but not for the kids, just for us, the readers.
Just for us, the readers, yeah. And after dinner, Uncle Jonathan's like, all right, kids, you want to see a dead body?
You want to see a dead kid?
I loved this scene with the mummy, the Kalran Tut.
Run us through it, Kevin.
Okay, so Peter's like, I want to see a fucking mummy. And Uncle Jonathan's like, yep, let's go. And then they go to this room, and in the middle of the room, there's a fucking sarcophagus.
Which they keep calling a mummy case throughout the whole book.
Yep. Because I guess sarcophagus is too big a word.
Kids don't know. Kids don't have as much internet yet.
I was like, well, I mean, like, I was bombarded with Egypt stuff because it was pretty hot in the 90s.
Yeah, same.
So like I knew the word sarcophagus.
I was
fucking early.
Yeah, I was a sarco head.
Yeah. I was sarking it up.
I was a cophagus boy.
Yeah. So sarcophagus means flesh eater.
Whoa, that's fucked.
Yeah.
That's fucking deep and gross and metal as hell.
Yeah. So basically, like, takes off the top of the sarcophagus, and there's a fucking dried up dead kid with black feet in there.
And he says this kid killed 1,000 people or 2,000 people.
Yeah, this kid killed 1,000 people by the time he was 7, and he repeats the phrase to Peter. Jonathan repeats this phrase to Peter twice. He was your age.
Yeah.
Like, how fucked up is that this room of people is staring at a corpse of a child, and the uncle is like, isn't it cool? He was your age. He was your age.
He was your age. Memento mori, bitch.
Dude, there's so much memento mori in this, and you know I'm about that life.
I know you love. I know you love looking at your skulls all day. Dude,
I'm memento and mori every second of my goddamn life.
I need to memento mori.
I'd actually recommend you not. I think it finds what is fucked up about like the Egypt fascination or whatever. That is a very like 90s thing.
For sure.
Like there was sort of like an Egypt craze, like a resurgence in the Egypt craze or whatever back in the 90s that I recall. Maybe not in 2008 or whenever this thing came out.
When did Walk Like an Egyptian? That was an 80s song, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna look it up. Yeah, it's a Bangles.
But that would be playing on, that would be playing on the oldies station.
It was still hot. It was still hot at the time.
Bangles are pretty timeless.
Also, 1986, so late 80s, so perfectly primed to enter in and then carry through the 90s. And to be, I would say, I'm going to say it, that was the song that started the Egyptian madness of the 90s.
Weirdly, that is not a song that is referenced in this, but there is a different song.
And they had an opportunity. Well, yeah, they did. What the heck, man?
There's a title drop in this scene that kind of like ends the scene on like a dry fart, but whatever.
Yeah, we're not even going to talk about it.
Yeah, we can move on from that. So then we go to like the first night at Castle Jonathan.
Yeah. Castle Dr. Uncle Jonathan.
Castle Dr. Uncle Jonathan. Which if you rearrange the letters, it says, I am Mummy Dracula. Abby wakes up, I think from a dream ballet or some shit.
Yeah, I think there's a mini dream ballet that happens to her.
Yeah, there's one in the Horrorland segment as well.
Oh, defo, yeah.
She wakes up, there's a fucking bat in her room, and she's like, fuck, I hate bats. And then she, like, gets the bat out of the room. They don't go into why bats are scary, and I only have to assume that RL thinks bats are scary and kept requesting bat attacks, and the actual author was like, I don't know what's scary about these dudes. They're little mice.
Yeah, he just keeps saying they're scary until he puts them over as scary, basically.
Yeah. They're in your hair, and they're scratching and attacking you. It's like, okay.
I mean, I guess anything that can attack you from above or below with impunity is scary in some sense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be scratched, I guess. And, like, a mouse that can, like, get in my hair like a bee, I guess, is kind of gonna, like, flap me a little bit.
Yeah, I don't want to be scratched, let alone scratched a lot.
Yeah, I had when I was working over the summer at Tufts University, I lived in the shittiest frat house in the entire world over the summer. And we had a bat get in our room, and it took, I think, me and four theater majors to get the bat out of our room.
I think that's the scariest thing about bats, is that they're a accidental chore that can show up at any time.
Yeah, they're a random encounter.
They're a random encounter with a chore, and that sucks. And they can create more chores by knocking stuff over.
But Abby looks outside, and there's a dude getting his ass absolutely kicked by bats.
Bat kicked this guy's ass.
Shout out to Tommy.
Shout out to Tommy in Paperback Paradise. This is the bats that kicked this guy's ass. He's truly getting his ass beat by these. He's got his arms up in the air. He's flailing. He's wearing a cool long black coat, and he does not look cool at all right now.
Yeah, like he's bald, and I think he has a scar.
Which should make him be cool. From this distance.
Yeah,
he should be cool.
But he is just fucking getting stun locked and corner trapped by these bats. Yeah. And then Sonia shows up, and she's like, "Okay,
they beat him
to bed. I'll tuck you in."
Yeah, they beat him so bad he starts to get naked and runs off without his coat.
Yeah,
he's like. He starts.
Nice coat.
He's trying. It is a nice coat. He's trying to unequip and maybe equip like a more like bat friendly, or like, something that's got some bat resistance on it. But he just drops his coat and then doesn't equip anything else, and just retreats.
Yeah, he's like shit. I thought it would be zombie seagulls, but it's mummy bats. As Sonia is like picking up Abby and throwing her into bed, she hears a moan from like the next room over, hearing something say, "I want to die.
I want to die." Dark language. Dark language for a Goosebumps book. Oh, we should also something that we've been leaving out is that one trait of Sonia's is that she likes to constantly touch Abby's hair, and Abby calls out how creepy this is multiple times throughout the book.
It's like an immediate violation on like we meet Sonia, and immediately she's touching Abby's hair and is like, "Oh, so tasty, good hair." Mm. And Abby's like, "That's weird. I didn't like that."
What savory hair you have.
We're totally not going to eat this later for reasons. At breakfast the next day, I love how bland all the food is in this too. Like that's a very kid friendly thing as well. They have fried chicken and mashed potatoes, right? Yeah, they have KFC dinner, or Boston Market, depending on when this is set. Yeah, 2009, probably Boston Market. Dude, fucking Boston Market. That was like the last hurrah of Boston Market. I miss that place. When it was good. Damn. Yeah. When it was Boston Chicken, that's when it was good. Dude, that's what I'm saying. Boston Chicken. God, I miss Boston Chicken. I was talking about that with my parents the other day. I don't know how to explain this to a person who just gets their rotisserie chicken at a grocery store, but Boston Chicken, Boston Market was a lifesaver. Boston Chicken, because you could get the mac and cheese, and their mac and cheese was banging. The mac and cheese was so good. The cornbread was amazing. The biscuits were good. Biscuits were good. That was pulling so much weight as like Boston's olive branch to the rest of the East Coast. If you were going out drinking and you got yourself some Boston Chicken, you were good. God. You were officially good. You could drink whatever you wanted that night. You had so many carbs and like layers of fat for that alcohol to land on. It would try and fight its way, but it would fizzle away into little nothing burps that would come back out of you, and no alcohol could touch you. I can't imagine ending the night at Boston Market or / Boston Chicken after getting fucking toasted. That must have been fucking amazing.
I never ended it there. I always started it at Boston Chicken.
You guys got loaded up.
Yeah, man, I biscuited up before I would go out.
Shit.
It was a move.
Maybe there's like one left. Like maybe they have like the last Blockbuster in Alaska somewhere. Like
the last Boston Chicken. That's a hey Pete and Pete show idea. Our Pete and Pete show idea.
Oh my god.
Yeah, baby.
Dude, I'm gonna leave that in. I'm not even gonna take that out. I'm gonna leave that in so people are like, "That's a good idea. You should make that."
Yeah, we're gonna raise money for that one day.
Support us on Kickstarter. All right, so it's breakfast next morning. They're having bacon and scrambled eggs and cereal and whatever. And Uncle Jonathan's like, "Oh, Abby, I'm so sorry." Being really charming and like sweet and whatever. He's like, "I'm so sorry. I heard about what happened last night. I'm sorry you saw our bat defense grid work its magic against a burglar on your first night."
Here's where I was like, what does he do for a living? Because he says that he keeps bats to study them and he's also like, as a defense net.
He has a line like, I have a bat cave below the house.
And I've trained them to fight invaders. R.L. did not write this one. That's too cool of a thing.
Dude, that's too fucking sweet. Like, that's like Uncle Jonathan is too fucking cool at this point.
Dr. Uncle Jonathan and his castle are the greatest place ever invented in a Goosebumps book.
Yeah, I love Dr. Uncle Jonathan Dracula, MD. And then we have like this incredible 1-2 punch where Abby goes back to her room and is like, "Oh, my hair must look awful after tossing and turning all night." And she brushes her hair and notices that there's a chunk missing. Yeah. And like, that is like traumatic. That's like real, like fucking body horror.
Yeah. She's been assaulted at some point when she didn't even notice it, you know?
Yeah, that is such like a body autonomy violation. As like a kid, like haircuts can be really traumatic, and your hair is like one of your main modes of expression of like projecting yourself out there.
And I'm fairly positive, I didn't write the quote down, but I'm fairly positive in the beginning of the book, again, using all pieces of this book, all the things laid out, I'm pretty sure she says it's her best feature. Now, most Goosebumps kids do say that about themselves. They say that their hair is their best feature. But the fact to have them say it and then to bring it back as a direct and pivotal part of the plot is huge. Mm-hmm.
But before that horror can really set in, and before they have too much time to marinate on it, we get another Cleopatra the cat attack. Cleopatra like scratches. I've never met a cat that just randomly attacks people hanging out.
Cleopatra knifes Abby in the back.
Cleopatra takes out her M1911 and empties a few rounds into Abby.
Cleopatra gets a crit strike with backstab on Abby because Abby is also stun locked from her hair attack that she's just found out about.
Cleopatra completes her pentakill on Abby, and Abby, when she respawns, whips around and just like does a single like get out of here squirt with her water gun. Mean to do to a cat.
Yeah, extremely mean. I actually felt my first dislike for Abby at that moment.
Me too. I mean, she has kind of been through a lot. Like, I can see her lashing out. I don't like it, but you know. We find out that Cleopatra is not a normal cat as she explodes into dust at the touch of water.
She melts like she's made of voxels and someone just pulled a single one out. And all physics went out the window for her voxel body.
She explodes like a lump of milk duds hitting a movie theater floor.
She explodes like you just did a cinnamon challenge in your mouth and opened your maw to release the dust.
That's the one. And Abby immediately goes, "Holy shit, that ain't right. We got to get out of here."
I love that, Kevin, because she doesn't go, "We need to talk about that with the adults." She says, "No, we're leaving."
Yeah, because like it isn't really stated, but like she kind of puts together all the flags. I feel like she like Sonia touching her hair, her losing a chunk of her hair, the cat exploding, all the weird Egypt stuff, the corpse. Like She's just like, you know what? We're good.
Yeah, she's ready to bail. She grabs Jonathan,
Yep.
Who believes her pretty quickly. A nice refresher from every other Goosebumps book.
He puts down his manga.
His manga sighting. Manga sighting alert. Please play the manga sighting alert after Kevin.
They're like, okay, we got to get out of here. And I think the bats like buffet them back in or something like that.
They go outside and a descending fog envelops them and then and confuses them, which I'm not ready to say wasn't some sort of mummy magic, because it just perfectly descends on them, pushes them towards the bat defense net where they are assaulted by bats. And then I think they do escape at this point, right?
Well, first they got to. I don't know why they go to see Uncle Jonathan. I don't know why they choose to like break down the door and be like, "Hey, man, we're going."
I don't think we're. Oh no, yeah, you're right. Yes.
This is the scene where Uncle Jonathan eats a whole bunch of mummy guts.
He eats like a liver. He eats like a whole purple liver, like a mob goblin liver. He eats.
This is so like cartoonishly gross and fun.
Like, yeah, I think they get rerouted back into the house. I believe the town visit is next after this, right?
Yeah, it's after this because they flee from Uncle Jonathan's snacky
down to town. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like they like go in his secret like guts eating room. They watch him eat a mummy liver, and there's this Abby's reaction just fucking kills me.
Yeah.
Because how could he eat mummy guts? That's bad for you.
And like there's not even like a lot of questions about the practicality of obtaining mummy guts as much so as like how could you do it, Dr. Uncle Jonathan?
The fact that he's just eating in my head like a cartoonishly purple pulsating organ out of like a dying skeletal like mummy. Like the mummies are the victims in this,
without a doubt, because they walk through his mummy room, which is what the door first leads to, which is a room lined with mummies, and they're all moaning, which is extremely disturbing.
So they want to die,
and we get some great. I think they are saying I want to die when they're in there, right?
Yeah.
And then they travel back through the mummy room to a mummy science chamber, which is where Dr. Uncle Jonathan is doing his mummy guts eating. And Kevin, for me, in my mind's eye, it was every ingredient from Zelda that I used to make potions was what he was eating in this scene.
Yeah, it was like purple and teal moblin guts or whatever.
Big old Boko Goblin guts going down his gullet, sliding him down.
They bug out and they try to call Granny V, but someone stole the battery out of their phone, which I guess is possible.
2009 stuff, yep.
Plausible. No chargers or anything, no internet.
Nope.
Peter wants to play Minecraft or whatever, but I don't think pigs have even been
No, it's still in beta probably at this point.
Yeah. And that's when we hit the fog and the bats.
That's right. They at first they try to confront Dr. Uncle Jonathan. Then they see the guts. That causes them to panic. They are descended upon by mummy magic fog, and then are sent into the bat neural net and are assaulted.
Yeah, they're chased by the bald scar man that Abby saw being attacked by bats.
He does the Papa Sutherland point from Invasion of the Body Snatchers as soon as he sees them, which is definitely the thing you want to do when you're trying to kindly help somebody.
I could sense that like he was, real Jonathan, since that had kind of been alluded to at this point.
Yeah, at this point you knew he was one of the good guys.
Yeah, and you're like, I can see how this can be misconstrued. I was not prepared for Crazy Annie to enter the scene as an ally of Uncle Dr. Jonathan.
No. So what she does is they are running from the Donald Sutherland Invasion of the Body Snatchers point. They're like, I'm not going near that guy. They run away. Suddenly, Crazy Annie shows up in her 2000 Honda Civic and whips up, pulls the e-brake, slides in to get in, kids. They jump in because they have no other choice because, again, Donald Sutherland is chasing them. And Abby almost...
He lunges onto the hood. He lunges onto the hood of the car.
Yeah, he lunges at them. And while the door is still open, Crazy Annie swerves the car. And Abby almost flies out. Peter has to catch her. This is a moment of actual repeatable danger that occurs. And I love that it's in here. It's an incredible moment.
No, it's fun. It's fun in a way that, like, you know, at this point of the book, you know, we usually don't get.
No, we usually, like, now that the spooky supernatural horror has revealed itself, usually that's going to be the threat, right? Not like we don't have to resort to an actual threat that the editor could tell us to cut out.
Right.
But she takes these kids right back to Dr. Uncle Jonathan.
Yep, and by the time they get all the way up the hill, it's too late. Abby's like, why are you taking us back? And she's like, I also live up there. And she's like, okay, you did say that earlier.
Yeah.
But then, you know, you can't break out of a Honda Civic, dude.
No, it's with child locks on? No way.
You're stuck, man.
I did think that was funny that Crazy Annie was a plant. It makes me question what the point of her pointing at the mansion at the beginning and saying, don't go there, what that was really supposed to accomplish. I guess it was to maybe paint her as a person not to be trusted, but then she is trusted. I'm not sure if I see the...
We learn like a weird like metaphysic thing at the end of this, which is like Uncle Jonathan has connected everyone's life forces together.
Yeah.
So maybe like Crazy Annie was like getting out from underneath like the life force, like mind control or whatever.
Oh, at that moment?
I can imagine a number of like scenarios for this where like she wants out, but she can't get out. Like maybe she's like kind of not there of her own will. Maybe the whole like fucking town of Cranford turns to dust or something, and the load-bearing mummy master dies.
Yeah, I don't know. I was reading it as like a Machiavellian machination that was going on here, and I don't think I had the political IQ to figure out the move. But maybe it was something like that.
It's a weird one for sure, especially for such like a write-offable like character. And I was legitimately confused and bamboozled here because I'm like, oh, well, like we gotta trust Crazy Annie because she's clearly not in league with Jonathan since she said don't go to Jonathan.
Yeah, Dr. Uncle Jonathan talks trash on her, so he's not her friend, so she is not going to be in his league. But once she did say, oh, I also lived up here, I was like, crap, they got duped.
Yeah, maybe it's like an over the garden wall woodsman scenario.
Yeah,
where she's like, I was fine when it was just mummies, but these are kids, and we learned that the kids will be harvested for their hair, which contains special proteins. And fake Uncle Jonathan is really just like he's an ancient Egyptian who outsourced his immortality to mummies.
Yep.
And I don't know how this freak figured out that by eating mummy guts and hair he could be immortal, but he fucking got the combo right.
Yep.
So his plan is basically to tie Abby and her brother down and harvest their hair for generations.
This is the worst part of the book.
That's super fucked up. I love it. I think that's super fucked up.
I agree that the hair harvesting is cool, but I will say that the means to which he got to find them and figure out that he was going to harvest them was a little too circumstantial for me because they're like, how did you find out about us? And he goes, well, your loving uncle was walking around Cranford showing off pictures of you to everywhere, and I saw your beautiful hair, and quote, I saw your long black hair in the pictures. I almost started to drool.
Oh my god. Well, that's really creepy, and I was like, this dude's a fucking freak.
I do love that. It's creepy as hell.
There is a lot of like adult fear like for fake Uncle Jonathan.
Yeah.
But all right, did you clock this? It's really fucking funny
that the mummies all say hair, hair, hair.
That the mummies all say hair, 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 like it's a production of Hair. But also that real Uncle Jonathan is bald.
Oh my god, I didn't even think of. Do you think he shaved his hair because they kept getting stolen?
No, I think that he just never clocked that Uncle Jonathan had perhaps the correct hair because he's just totally bald.
He's aged out of it. I like to believe.
Yeah.
I do. I like that too. But I also like to believe that someone kept stealing his hair, and he's like, "No, ain't no one gonna steal my hair. I'm shaving it all off." And he just shaved himself, like bicked himself every day.
Wakes up and he's like, fucking hair gnomes again. Whatever. I'm taking it so they can.
Hair brownies showing up in the middle of the night.
the hair elves. It is like important that the hair be black because I guess like once you start going gray, that's part of like the protein.
I guess that's
whatever.
maybe color comes from protein. I'm not a hair scientist. I can't speak to that.
I don't think the writer is either.
No.
But then we get the thing that makes me love Peter, which is like Abby's being like tied down for hair harvest time. And Peter just like is at the perfect child height to totally nutshot fake Uncle Jonathan.
Yeah, dude. He does a full-on bum rush, shoulder tackle nut hit, and he rings the bell.
Yeah. And like they don't say that like fake Uncle John's been sack tapped, but like
we know.
It's the only thing that could possibly happen, and it's funny as hell, and I love it.
We know that he has been sack tapped.
And then real Uncle Jonathan shows up like the badass he is, way too late, and squares up. He like puts his fists in front, and he's like, "Let my kids go."
Real Uncle Jonathan wants that smoke, and he gets it. Amongst the chorus of hair that is going on all around them, which, can we just for a moment, why are they so excited about the hair? They're being tortured with the hair. The hair is keeping them artificially alive, but they're so excited for it. I guess it's the only pleasure they have left.
Yeah, after like 2,000 years of being harvested, like your memes are gonna be real weird.
It's true, and you're gonna look forward to whatever you can get.
So fake Uncle Jonathan reveals his name is Tutton Ra.
Tutton Ra and RUJ. They get into a full-on knockout brawl. There's moaning, there's grunting, there's wrestling moves being pulled upon each other.
Suplexing back and forth forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they slap each other's chests for 10 minutes.
It would be really cool if it wasn't so fucking scary. And Annie and Sonia are also there. Abby's like, we gotta get the fuck out of here and grab one of these squirt guns. Because I'm not going out among those bats.
I'm going out fighting.
So Abby like goes to find Peter's squirt gun. They can't find it. So she goes to find her own super soaker, and it's empty. And at this time, fake Uncle Jonathan Tutton Ra is caught up with them and is like, "I'm gonna fucking kick your ass, old man." And Abby goes and fills up the super soaker, and crazy.
And we need to talk about that. That Tutton Ra is literally choking her uncle out at this moment. He's going blue.
There's a lot of asphyxiation here because that's what Cleopatra was doing as well. She was trying to choke Abby while she was sleeping. But crazy Annie just immediately just takes the super soaker away.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm like, I've never filled up a super soaker and had it be dry on the outside.
Oh, you're saying there should have been some like the hand slap that knocked the gun away should have resulted in like a area effect splash is what you're saying.
Yeah, there should have been some contact damage on that.
Yeah, I'm with
something.
You. Yep.
Because is it just a concentrated blast that does it?
Mm-hmm.
Does the fog hurt them because it's water? Like, I have many questions about like the Wicked Witch mechanics.
We'll talk again. We're going to have to discuss the mechanics of this at the end of this episode too, because it comes back. It is slapped out, and the brawl is continued. Is continuing in the background. RUJ is almost dead at this point. Peter is just hands in pockets, giving up. And
Peter's got nothing. He's like, well, I'm 7.
I'm 7. I haven't even killed one person, let alone 1,000 yet. I'm never going to live up to my ancestors.
But Abby, who's killed one cat.
Is ready to rock. And she runs back into the bathroom. They lose sight of her. She comes out. And what does she do, Kevin?
She water spits. A trait that was relevant at the beginning is relevant at the end.
The world famous long distance water spit takes out Tutton Ra's face. And we get a sick face melt sequence.
Oh my god, this is really fun.
It's great.
Like eyeballs are coming out of skulls and like spinning on the ground before they like collapse, and like, you know, bones and skulls are like exploding into ash and stuff like that. It's really fun.
Mm-hmm. It's a good moment.
It's fireworks. We never get fireworks at the end of the show.
We get a true ending here with a true climactic sequence. He melts, and then they go to take out his lackeys, who are also melted into little pyramids of dust.
I thought that was a nice touch.
It was a very nice touch.
And yeah, they go to, and they're like, oh, I guess, like, Tutnara's life force was connected vampire style to the rest of these guys, and that's why when you kill one, you kill them all. And I'm like, yeah.
Good enough for me.
Yeah, fine, good.
Then they go back to the mummy room, and they're checking out the mummies that are in there with RUJ, who's alive now. He didn't get choked out. And
RUJ, who did not die.
Who did not die, surprisingly. And one of the mummies hugs Abby and says, "Thank you for mercy killing me."
Yeah, it's very fucked up. And I think it kind of is another play on this idea of like comfort and discomfort as well. Where it's actually a very sweet moment. It's dark as fuck, but it's very, very sweet.
But it works.
Where the mummy's just like, thanks for killing me, bye. Oblivion is better than a life of pain. See ya.
With its death rattle, it goes...
But then this last scene happens. And this is even darker.
This is wild stuff.
This is like crazy fucked up. Where they go home to Granny V, and Granny V is still kind of sick and weak.
She's probably worse than she was when they left.
Yeah. She got the shit kicked out of her.
Yeah.
She got...
Medical science did a number on her.
And she's in bed, and they're like, Granny V, you don't look so good. And she's like, oh, that's all right. I love you guys. We're going to figure it out. And Abby's like, hey, Granny V, eat this.
And Granny V's
like,
what is it?
It smells awful. And it's like, it's fucking mummy guts and hair, dude.
And she's like, we'll tell you after you take your first bite, but you're going to be around for a long, long time.
So fucked up.
Truly fucked up.
We never really see this. Like, it is a joke, but it does suggest something that goes a little bit farther than a normal Goosebumps ending, right?
It's not your normal wink at the audience and say, it's not really over ending, which it is in a way, but there's like implications for this. What did they tell Granny V? She cannot take a bath or go outside when it rains ever again?
Yeah. It feels like yeah, that's a really good point.
No more tea for Granny V.
By the way, I will be your living executioner should you step out of line.
I know how to end you.
Yeah, I feel like this feels like an ending, like it feels like one of our punch-ups to like a Goosebuds thing. It's like, oh, immortality technology exists. Like, what are the lasting implications of that? And this is just like a nice little sting at the end. And then Horrorland, I guess, if you want to talk about it.
I don't know. I mean, do we really need, like, it's the same thing. Like, I tried to think about this from a child's perspective, and I was like, I probably would have liked it. I'll reveal a little bit about my young self. I liked the GamePro April edition, April Fool's edition with Lame Pro in it.
I loved Lame Pro. Yeah.
I loved Lame Pro because I liked to see what the parodies were going to be, and every time it tickled a little part of the Mad Magazine loving brain that I had because it was Mad Magazine but for video games, and I kind of liked it. And I think
can see how that could be an influence as well.
Oh, absolutely, yes. I think it had to be, right?
Yeah.
And I think that these segments may have tickled me in that they constantly went back to the park and you saw a new food and you saw a new ride, right? And like that might have been enjoyable to me as a kid, but as an adult and knowing about the slow roll and knowing everything that they're doing and like the way that this is just a marketing ploy to get more books sold really bugs me. And even the characters in the book can't keep the names of the characters straight.
No, they admit that it's confusing and awkward. Like it's it doesn't really work. I do like Michael, who will be in the next story.
Yeah, we haven't even met him yet. He seems okay.
And if this is a ghostwriter or even just a stylistic choice by RL, I hope we get a similar like caliber of writing on the next one.
Me too.
Because I do really like everything going on here. But like Michael, is like has like multiple traits. Like he is he's like a large kid. He has anger issues. His nickname is Monster. He looks like a bulldog. And he's a techie. He does computers.
Yep.
And like there's some nice details in like the dream that like kicks us off. It's weird that it feels like the book assumes that we're taking a huge break in between like reading the main story and the Horrorland segment.
Right.
Like, I think they're almost like anticipating folks reading all the way, like collecting all the books and then reading all the Horrorland segments at once, which we've said we might do.
I wonder if it was like kind of like collecting all the X-Men cards and putting them together into the binder so you got the full picture, you know?
There's no way that makes it good, though. I'm sorry.
No, I don't think it can. It's just not, I don't think it, I'd be interested to try it as a single book experience at some point and see if it works. But I feel like it's just, maybe it's moving somewhere, but I just don't feel like it is. And I don't know.
If I was doing like an Iron Chef for editors, I would throw all of like the Horrorland segments at them, and I'd say, turn this into something that someone would like.
Wow, to make a mind dish out of this.
What is the cut? Like, what is like the recut of Horrorland?
Release the Stine cut, please.
Release the Stine cut of Horrorland. But yeah, Michael's interesting, and it's nice that Abby gets a friend to pal around with who kind of doesn't understand her trauma.
I do think they make a good pair of characters. They probably have the most chemistry of any of the characters we've met so far.
Yeah, and they get the roller coaster sequence feels pretty good. Like it's better than like walking through another fucking haunted house.
Yeah, whatever. another creepy house walk would have been a little too far. It is just the same ride thing over again, but I agree. I think this one works. It's kind of nicely described. I like that it's a pyramid.
Yeah, I like that it's like you're like sort of like put into a sarcophagus or whatever when you're on the ride or something like that, and like you're oriented in different ways. And
yeah,
she feels like she's gonna fall out of it, but she doesn't because it's Horrorland. Yeah. Yeah, you know, the same fucking shit happens. The roller coaster is called the Annihilator. And I'm like, fine, that's
okay.
All right.
That's okay.
We get some headless businessmen. I think that this is like, this could be RL. This could be an RL detail, but like headless businessmen walking down the street singing "Don't Worry, Be Happy" is a nice, like, yeah, that would happen at Horrorland. That's a nice little touch.
Seems like a thing he would put into it. But like we've talked about, "Walk Like an Egyptian" should have been the song. Would have been a lot nicer.
Yeah. For this, if we have to pick a needle drop, like "Walk Like an Egyptian" should be it for this fight between real and fake Uncles Jonathan.
Could have been a new moment for her to get freaked out. Just one more creepy moment for her in the park, you know?
That would be really funny if "Walk Like an Egyptian" put her hair on end or something like that. Byron's back and he's doing random shit, and he wants you to escape Horrorland still.
He's Byron, you know, we know him. He's Byron.
Yeah, I know him. I know exactly who we're talking about when we say Byron. I didn't not know who Byron was when Chad referenced him on the group chat earlier.
While Chad was being de-kaiju'd and we were standing next to him as the kaiju juice was being sucked from his body.
He's like, I'm letting Byron down. And I'm like, who? Who's that?
I did have a random brain firing where I thought, after I finished this, can't be a pyramid without being mid.
Oh, shit, dude. Fucking, that's the quote on the front.
Got him. Fucking roasted the pyramids. That's right.
Got him. There's a skeleton in an elevator with a suitcase, and that's my favorite character of the book. I don't know why. I just thought it was good.
Fortune 500 Curly?
Late capitalism Curly. There's the vampire cafe. There's a lack of mirrors in Abby's hotel room for some reason.
That's a strange one, and I don't remember if the horrors have. We've been so breadcrumbed along this story. I don't know if the horrors have anything against mirrors. Yeah,
well, like the two girls who are missing were pulled into a mirror, right?
Yeah. Even in the recap, they're like, these two characters disappeared, and then they disappeared again, and it's like, I can't keep track of all this, guys.
It's like the characters don't know what's going on, and also I don't remember this because like it's such drudgery to read through these Horrorland portions, even when they're a little bit punched up, like this one is.
Release the Stine cut.
Yeah, we know that Scholastic was just getting in Stine's way. We get our first Panic Park drop, I think.
I think they mentioned it before, but yeah, because I think the coin took him there before, right?
Yeah, I don't fucking know.
In his mind dimension.
Robbie Schwartz's coin references Panic Park. And I hate how they keep losing clues.
I know. All the cool items they get taken from them.
And it's like, this is going to make it really hard to keep track of anything if we don't... even just having like a little inventory screen in between...
That would be nice.
Horrorland stories. Be like, and these are all the clues we have.
That would be cooler than what's going on, yeah.
Yeah.
Then they have a luncheon together.
And none of these kids are unique. They do their best to be like, this is a community of strange children with, like, Robbie gets, like, the most characterization.
Robbie gets the most in this one. And then, I mean, Michael's got some good characterization, too, in this one, I think. For a kid we've never even met, he's got the best characterization. We meet yet another fucking horror named Ned. Oh, God damn it. It's like they can't help themselves. There are too many fucking characters, guys. And they all have boring-ass fucking names. Everybody has a biblical name that I don't care about. How am I supposed to look at a page full of Robbies and, like, Michaels and Abbies and pick out, like, a Ned or a Byron or whatever and determine who is a kid and who is a monster? Yeah. Is he doing something with that? Were all of the monsters once kids? They should all have cool nicknames. Yeah. Like Winamp, Lojack. What's the rest of the quote? It's Winamp, Lojack. Fuck, why can't I can't remember it either now. Editor Kevin. Upgrade, Lojack, Winamp. Oh my God, please put that in it. Don't let them know. That's in the trailer. That's trailer level. I know. Too. God damn it. Love the Smart Guys references. Too much piss. They all get coins that reflect their various... They all get a commemorative coin of their trauma that represents the worst day of their lives. Yeah, and that's kind of where it ends. It ends on another bad attack. Byron tells them to meet somewhere, and we don't know if we can trust Byron. We don't know if they should keep the coins. All but two of the kids give their coins to other kids because they think they could be tracking devices, right. Which is a big leap in logic. It's a jump. They're really not trusting Byron. How can they with Ned? That's true. Ned has seeded doubt amongst them. And yeah, it ends with just a bat attack. And they're getting effed up by these bats. Dude, there's fucking internal bleeding from all these fucking flappy bats hitting them. All of them are getting big old shots in their bellies after this bat attack. If they survive. Yeah, we don't. Who can say? Who can say? Only Byron. But only Byron. Only Byron who knows all and sees all. But that's it. I think that's Who's Your Mummy? I think that's a bump. Yeah. I like this one, honestly. Like, I thought this one was really fun. It's benefiting a lot, too, from being in direct contrast with one of the worst books we've read in this entire series. And this entire Goosebumps series, that last one was one of the worst. Yeah, that one hurts to think about. But this one I got to admit was fun. I savored it at parts, and I also, did my normal skim of the Horrorland portion at the end. But overall, this one's a good one. I might even recommend this to somebody who is like, is there a good Goosebumps book you'd recommend? And I'd be like, Haunted School, and then this one. Yeah, I would say this one, but don't read the Haunted or the Horrorland portion of it. Yeah, just there's some extra chaff at the end of this week. Skip the chaff. Get the beautiful 70-page story that you deserve. I wonder though, is this Horrorland segment intriguing? Because it is bamboozling. It is certainly bamboozling, but I think it's too much. I think there are too many names. There's not enough to grasp onto. Although I will say, if I'm going to give this one a little benefit, this one particularly, because it is so tied, it is the most tied to the story, to the previous story, besides maybe Robbie's. It's the one that really draws. Granny V shows up in it. Peter's mentioned in it, and then her trauma is sprinkled throughout it. And I think that really does a lot for this one. So maybe you're right. Maybe this one is intriguing and bamboozling in a way that works. Maybe. I mean, it works as advertising, if not fiction. Certainly probably works as advertising. Yeah, that's it. That's it. We bumped. We bumped real good. Play the bump alert.
you like Goosebuds, the podcast, you can give us money, and that will help us to make more of the podcast, and also pay rent and continue to exist and make things that you like.
It pays for the electricity that makes what is happening at this instant possible.
So if you want to help us out, you can go to patreon.com/goosebuds, throw us $1 or subscribe for free. You get a cool Discord. If you pledge a little higher, you can get our secret podcast, Camp Goosebuds, where we hang out and talk to each other.
Yeah, if you like the first 10 or 15 minutes of each of these episodes where we just BS about something, that's what that show is about. We also occasionally will do one where we will take questions from our Discord patrons, from our Patreon supporters on Patreon, and sometimes we'll even do special episodes that are about a movie or a game or something like that.
But there are lots of $0 ways to help us too. You can recommend Goosebuds to a friend. You can leave us an honest review. You can, again, subscribe for free on Patreon. But everything helps us a little bit. We're kind of in that post-social media world where Twitter's a hellscape. So
yeah, the best way, I think what you said earlier, tell your friends. If your friends are talking about, the podcast they listen to, tell them to shut up and listen to Goosebuds.
Turn up that bud.
Kevin, what the hell else have you been up to?
I've been making video games, and I've been kicking it old school. I have a video game called Bird Bulls that's been doing pretty well on itch. Surprise!
Bird Bulls is a lot of fun.
Right, yeah, I like Bird Bulls a lot. BRD BLS if you want to check it out on itch, or just type BRD BLS into your search bar and it'll take you to that page. But it's been doing numbers on itch. It's got about twice the number of views I've gotten on other games that are in higher profile jams. And that game was just part of my own game jam, the Super Try game jam.
It has a really good aesthetic to it. It has a really fun and quick intro to the gameplay loop. And it's just a nice little time that you can finish in one sitting. It's worth playing. If you're listening to this right now and you're looking for a little, way to spend some 15-20 minutes, probably about a half an hour maybe total to fully beat it. Go check it out. It really is a great game. And
Super Try will be participating in the Pursuing Pixels James Jam Game that's coming up.
Wow.
The PPJJGG is a week-long jam that's run by my friend Kevin Portelli over at Pursuing Pixels, and it's a really fun... I don't have to plug this or anything. I'm participating in it, but honestly, it's my favorite jam to do. It's a week-long. Everyone's super chill. There's lots of nice feedback at the end, and I think I've produced some of Super Try's best jam games with Joe in the PPJJGG.
I was going to say the same thing. I think it's very generative for you every year when you do this one.
It's a good timeline, honestly, having that whole week to make something.
Yeah.
Blink Blanc was the product of the first one.
Love Blink Blanc.
Wizard Laws Are Made to Be Broken was a product of the second.
Love
Heavy hitters of the Super Try era.
Indeed.
So, check out the Pursuing Pixels jam that's coming up in June. If you're listening to this currently, in the time that it's been released.
And if you're not, hurry up.
Yeah. And you can check out supertrystudios.com for all my games. And you can support me on givekevinmoney.com if you want to help me make more games and stuff. And Paul, what do you want to pump? What are you looking at?
I'm still doing Continue Show at youtube.com/Continue Show, and you can go there and watch us play video games every week, and I'm still putting that out. But everything else that I'm working on is just kind of in progress right now, and I can't really talk too much about all the things I'm doing, but I got quite a few things. Kevin and I have a project that hopefully not too long from now we will have something to show. We're the last 10%. Takes the same amount of time as the first 90%, and that's where we're at right now.
Yep. We've completed the first 90%, and now we have the second 90%.
Yes, so we're hustling on that, and then I also have another thing that I'm working on. I have scripts and a lot of writing that I'm working on right now that is hopefully going to be turned into things that people can enjoy soonish. So that's pretty much what I've been up to. I mean, I'm kind of just for me, it's like working on all that stuff and doing all the other stuff that I do in the meantime. And I have some other like money projects that I'm doing that are cool and fun. That also will probably take years to reveal themselves. So I think there's going to be a floodgate at some point for me of stuff to check out.
Yeah, if you're listening to this in the future, then it's probably too late to join my jam, but probably all of the cool stuff Paul and I have been working on and all of Paul's cool projects are trickling out.
Hopefully flooding out in your face.
Yeah, blasting out like a super soaker into a mummy's chest cavity.
I hope they don't turn you into a pyramid of dust, though. Maybe that would be awesome if it turns you into it in like your mind was blown into a pyramid of dust. Hopefully that happens.
I think it could be done in an artistic and gentle way.
Agreed.
Well, thanks for listening.
Chad, we need you! Come back!
Chad usually figures out how to end these, so we're going to go into the ocean to go find Chad and drag him back out so he can end the podcast for us.
All right, let's walk into the ocean now.
Bye, everybody.
Play the ocean alert.
This episode of Goosebuds has been brought to you by our beloved patrons in our Book of Names.
The Book of Names.
We'd like to thank Stefan, Jive Turkey Kuwabara,
Low Belly Hate Me,
Hollis Hornbeak,
Nathan Dozal,
Mike Lanteri,
Mickey C,
Michael McDowell,
Hey Josh Rob,
Cameron Murphy Audio,
Buddy Moral,
Mel Dipson,
Alacade,
Afsheen,
Dango Twists,
Zenticles,
Stealth, a beautifully fleshed skeleton Bates.
Wow, Robert Moon,
Brian Wells,
Jason Crooker,
Miguel Pardo,
John Keaty,
Clay Castle,
Calf,
The Juggalobalist.
Rite Aid Sucks, and Bring Back Paranoia Shop.
They're both dead. They're both dead. Gregory D. Warren,
Cody Redfield,
Bradford Coulter.
Ooh, Aiden thinks Kevin is IRL Senshi Dungeon Meshy. Thank you.
I assume that's a compliment.
I mean, he's a sexy man in my eyes.
You know who's also sexy in my eyes is Jar Jar Slinks.
Ooh, chosen one for sexual deeds.
Leviathan.
Up and Champ.
Jonas Engman.
The John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation.
Carl.
Anthony Mulberry.
Yanni Markovina.
Elusive Koala.
Christian Van Skeever.
Brooke X.
Jesus Christ.
Jeremy Lowe.
Brian Hobgood.
Zach Connor.
Patreon_donator, yo.
Joe, Spooky Digital Ghost, Tierney.
Tom Whittam.
Lord Cornwallis.
Andrew Jadsack is noticing the entity under the ice acting a little bridezilla-y lately.
Oh, do I hear wedding bells for the entity?
Which one of the Goosebuds is marrying the entity under the ice?
I would love that to be our Ice Church season finale.
Tune in this summer.
Murphy P.
Carson Burkabean.
Tevin Ticklebean versus a little apple boy born of a seed. That's some Momotaro throwdown energy right there.
I've seen an anime called Appleseed.
Whoa.
Sean Minogue.
Rushy Glenn.
Wiggle it!
What's Appleseed about?
I don't know. Like hot chicken robot.
Got it. Sounds good. Luke LaFountain.
Matt McClellan.
Chip Handsome.
Tanya Turtle.
Alicia Grafe.
Juan Jalapena.
Timothy Misodulakis.
Keith Halcrow.
Clay McCarty.
Ham_boat.
The Crow Fens, but seasonal.
Raymond Hernandez.
Matthew Sutton.
John Barber.
Jeff Coffey.
Kelsey Kinnaman.
Russell Castberg.
Xavier Jimenez Castillo.
Scotty Pippin.
Chris Putrikis.
Sarah Kemp.
Flemily.
Jonas Blotterman.
Tobias Clark.
Dungeon Kappa.
Zach Weir.
Limp Duck.
In the ice part of the ice, join the entity.
In holy
okay.
matrimony, perhaps?
Someone going to go to Ice Church. Gonna marry the entity.
Meet Virginia?
Yeah. Alex Mood, the robotic dog.
Paul Grasso.
Joe Regular Dame Scott.
Estamina, Lord of Paul's Pants.
Chris Late Night with a Spooky Donger Nelson.
Streak.
Luke Knoodles.
some reason I saw 3 E's in streak when there was just a regular number of E's.
We should get you some sleep, buddy.
Hey, we should get no one anything. Zambambino.
Kieran McNamara.
Hugh Bolin.
Diet Soda.
Lamb.
Jackie L.
Coleman Laguza.
A pair of Scots.
Levi Kidder.
Getting frisky in the lobster biscuit.
David Gray, and then good luck, Chad.
Rats, 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 rats.
Nice, perfect. Jonas Enevoldsen.
Scared of rats. Matthew Bertado.
You're scared of rats?
Well, I'm more scared about rats that like hungry rats that'll eat me like in 1984.
Oh, okay, you know? Yeah. No, that wouldn't be very good. I don't think most rats will do that.
I guess I'm really more scared of fascist governments than rats.
Oh, okay, yeah, that would be bad. Glad we don't have one of those. Bryce Thierry.
Nathan Remick.
Need more kimchi. Keeps being reminded of Paranoia Shop and that banger intro. Bring that back at least.
You know who has that? LOLJK. Check out that podcast. Joey, he's got that theme song somewhere. Hit him up. But also, yeah, it's gone. Stop trying to bring back the past. Bury it. As Kylo Ren said. Lee Wood!
Some of Chad's bird friends have left the Midwest and returned to the Northeast.
Oh, come back to me.
You're neither of those places.
I know, yeah, it's actually, never mind. Well, I think my heart is always still in the Midwest, you know?
Well, welcome back to the Northeast, some of Chad's bird friends, if you had made.
Well, yeah, you're hanging out with Kevin and Paul. You're doing good. Reed Stubendiek.
Ma the Meatloaf.
Joe Gorman.
Burger's Wonderful World.
Nicholas Maloney.
Joey Evans.
Andre Villanueva.
Tiffany Lee.
Eric Horwitz.
Carewise Gamgee.
Thomas Jansis.
Mutant Astronaut.
That Val got mutated, sounds like.
Yeah.
Lucretia McEvil.
Cameron Hansen.
A wild swaggy yellow squire appears. Attack it!
Wow. Henry Torpere.
Boner Guard Epsilon Hamilton, aka Hambone, host of Radio Bone Air.
Noise. The Deadly Bulb.
Generally depressing.
Adam Knapp.
Ben Bohan.
Logan Derby.
Chick.
Brad Schmelzer.
Anthony won't be dropping out of college again, god damn it.
Whoa. I
feel like there's a story there we don't know about.
You can drop out if you want to, man. Callum, Mr. Misfire West.
Rah, fight the power. Tacky Tammy.
Skeltorin.
Mandy Nasty.
Yoplin. Calamity Carl.
This little group of names is always just like, you guys are just a bunch of Beetlejuice characters. Tacky Tammy, Mandy Nasty, Germ Juice, Calamity Carl.
They're all in a gang.
Yeah. Philip Reynolds.
Nick Johnson.
Nate Bitg.
Mr. Unimportant still wonders what Chooch is up to sometimes. Chooch just keeps on chooching. He's fallen into very large debt.
Oh no, we gotta get him out of there.
Yeah, we gotta help out Chooch.
Boss Garrettson.
Scott Wable.
Ryan R. Davis.
Jeremy Bowser.
Ryan Carroll.
Evdog.
Megan McCormick Mason.
Ninja Breadman.
Llama Lad.
Helodicus Frenchland.
Aaron Lord.
Greg Musto.
Dr. Chuck.
Robot Arena.
Sprinkle Buns.
Hi, first time, long time.
SSJ Trogdor.
Ollie Suds.
Mike Hart.
Mike Spaghetti Jones.
Gulliver.
Cassandra Harris.
This next name is my favorite.
Kira and Brian are big fans.
Big Nick Lane. That's like a super setup of like one name hyping up the next one and then hyping up the next one.
Yeah, that's the big corner. If the last one was the gang corner. Willem Dafoe made shepherd's pie just for geese buds.
Oh, I would eat the fuck out of that.
I fucking love shepherd's pie, dude.
Blake Cavan.
Dan Antonio.
Ferretu.
Soggy Newspapers.
John W.
Dakota Kemp.
Chris Kulik.
Quest humbly asks whoever reads this for a goblin to grade. The first goblin I asked you to grade, Quest, was, I think, the old school Magic the Gathering Goblin King. The latest Secret Lair has a new Goblin King portrait.
Oh!
Yeah, and it's like Goblin King if he was a playing card, and it's pretty good.
Okay.
It's not worth it for like the money Secret Lair asks you to pay, but it's pretty good art.
But like, wait, in the playing card is of a playing card?
So it's it's set up like a playing card, like it's got it's like reversible or whatever, but because of that, it has no room for the text of what the card does. It just has the stats on it. So
well, that's annoying.
Yeah, so Wizards likes doing that, where they just remove the text from the thing, and they're like, yeah, you know what it does. A lot of people don't know what it does, Wizards.
Wait, you're supposed to just look that up online? Come on, Wizards.
No, you're supposed to know, because you're already, like, in the thing. Like, you're
Jesus
already...
Christ.
And, like, I can't tell what I dislike more, is them thinking that I'm a fan of Magic the Gathering, or them thinking that I've never heard of Magic the Gathering before.
Well, now we know what Kevin's grade of that goblin is, but Quest, hit us up.
It's good art. It's good art.
Postmaster.
Saturn Video.
Cole Gleason.
Chris Curto.
Michael Malloy.
Kiwi of Lerv.
Jesse Boggs.
Serial Killer X.
Kyle O'Neill.
Time Eats Flesh.
Yeah, not Tim eats flesh, Time eats flesh, which is true.
Whoa.
Running up that hill, Kit Bush.
Sirison.
Wonderskin.
Tan your hide.
See, those also go together. Like, you tan your hide and you make Wonderskin.
Yeah, it's the skin corner.
Yeah. Jover the Moon.
Dennis Wright.
Brony Danza.
Anthony Stoker.
Cameron Ganzeveld.
Wonderskin. Again.
Once again. Feels like real skin. Rat IRL.
Ah, scary.
Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm scared again.
You're getting all the rat ones. Max Still a Fontanelle. Dog
Lips Kajoyan.
Woo. Number one Celasta fan. Thanks, Kevin. Hell yeah.
Kevin, is this just you?
It might be. I don't know. I don't know if anyone else likes Celasta.
You got a Fight Club alternate personality that subscribes to Goosebuds and just wants to talk about Celasta.
Holy shit. I'm glad Celasta found the one other person it was supposed to find.
You've doubled its sales. Skeetor.
Matt Septor.
Hurt, aka Cyberbully.
Greg, leader of the Gregorian chanting monks on surfboards, ripping gnarly solos behind synthwave beats, while I, lieutenant of...
Wait, so you're not even the leader of the Gregorian chanting monks? Or, Greg, we need to know more what you're going on. What is your story you have here?
Greg, please post your full name in the your full Patreon descriptor in the Discord as an incentive for people.
Yeah, if you want to know, the lore, you got to join his name. Talene.
Chad is mad rad and would make a good dad, but I'm sad. Tonight 11.
Aw, son, come here, son. Aw. Blarbin.
B.
Anthony Rodriguez.
Starship 9.
S.
Odin's eye hole.
Ew, gross. Thank you. Logan Kilgus.
Chef, Big Baby, and his wife. Not a big baby.
Hey, come here, Big Baby. Come under my dad.
Father Chad.
Daniel Hirschberger.
Creature of the Office, Boss Ferratu.
Turaku, the thing that goes doink in the anime.
Spencer, why?
Canadian Ghoul, learning Mandarin, their third language. Lucky, I'm still working on my first.
Grabbomics.
Shadowheart Gun D Tyrannosaurus.
Problem Child 2 on DVD.
Great movie. When he puts the cockroaches in the salad, terrifying. Captain Billy Beard Byers.
LOD.
Kumquat Behavior Podcast.
Clint Deerking.
Agents Miskatonic.
Nail 7.
Smellodies.
We gotta get Elodie and Smellodies together.
Oh, I know. Come on, guys. I don't know what you could do. Just keep us supporting.
Yeah. Angelo, Edward, Longton, Santone.
3 a.m. sleep.
Ben Floyos Sayer.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I don't know.
Spencer Leith Johnston.
Caleb Snyder kept forgetting to change his name.
Good for you, Caleb. Lumo Nuva.
We love a forgetful king. Brian Udall.
Bob Cabbage.
The Shrekronomicon.
Number 1 Gnome.
Nowhere Lucas.
Jolly Old Jules.
Jafar wonders what song has been stuck in your head recently. Love Keeps Kickin' by Martha.
Ooh, I haven't even heard that one. I'll look that one up.
Like Power Pop. That's Power Pop.
I do like a Power Pop.
Do you have a head song, Chad?
The entire Chapel Roan recent discography album has been going nonstop.
I don't know that. So we have.
Oh, she's like a new Lady Gaga meets I don't know, like a little more country. I don't know.
Okay, I'll check that out.
She's very gay.
Cool.
Herpy Derpy drowns in dumb as shit sauce.
Complex.
Attack. Geege.
We're getting into the hard ones. We're getting into the ones we don't like. We can't just like.
Yeah, this is abstract corner. Yeah.
Seal Reagan, the birthday cat, May 28th. Oh, happy birthday!
Oh, happy birthday, Justin.
Taylor Garofalo,
MC Wright,
Jaybird,
Tig-Ass Biddies 007.
Nintendo 60 Jorts.
Those go together.
Yep.
Crazy Ass Nipples,
Matt Noah,
Jorge Raya Navarro.
Mimel the Delph,
Oh my god, he's coming for us. Jim Corey,
Quinn,
Olympia Streets,
Jackie Bay,
Daniel Lavelle.
Oh, Spaghetti the Yeti,
Oh, he's made of spaghetti. Carly Beth's parents, 808. Carly has permission to play Beyblades in the annex.
Incredible energy on that one.
Yeah, I like how that's hidden.
Wyvern.
Tutan Watson.
And welcome to the Book of Names, our first timers, Steamed Ham.
Singular. A singular steamed ham.
One lone steamed ham.
Shelly, welcome Shelly Castillo Garcia.
Welcome Lee Murphy.
And welcome Angus Keith. Thank you all so very, very much. We love you all.
Love you all. Thank you.
Goodbye.